Hello everyone, I'm about Sonic the Telltale Gamer, bringing you everything Telltale games, Transformers, and more. So yesterday we got our first official trailer for The Walking Dead Season 4, the final season, and along with that we got a huge press release about the season, what we can expect from it, along with a bunch of screenshots too that will help us like identify what the plot, at least for episode 1, is going to be. So just to streamline some of the things that were mentioned in the tweet, in the Telltale's press release, The Walking Dead, the final season, will premiere on August 14th this year for Xbox One, PS4, and PC, with a Switch version coming later this year. Also, along with this, Telltale has confirmed that the final season will only consist of 4 episodes, as the leak previously suggested. So we've got a lot of information to go over. We've got yesterday's E3 trailer, we have the press release, all the information given by the press release about the story of the game, as well as 3 screenshots that were released by Telltale as well. So we're going to go over all of that in full. For now, let's go ahead and start off with the plot summary for The Walking Dead, the final season. So starting off the press release for The Walking Dead, the final season, Telltale released a small little plot summary for the season overall, so I'm just going to go ahead and read that now. After years on the road, facing threats both living and dead, a secluded school might finally be Clementine's chance for a home, but protecting it will mean sacrifice. Clem must build a life and become a leader while still watching over AJ, an orphan boy and the closest thing to family she has left. In this gripping, emotional final season, you will define your relationships, fight the undead, and determine how Clementine's story ends. As she builds this new life, you will have to grapple with the new types of choices as AJ looks on, learning from your every move. A new over-the-shoulder camera system, greater freedom to explore detailed environments, and scenes with unscripted combat create the most engaging Walking Dead game yet. And the all-new graphic black art style brings the world of the comics to life like never before, especially if you're playing on a 4K or HDR compatible device. So for those of you who either didn't watch my video on the PAX reveal for Walking Dead final season, or just didn't know about it in general, let me explain that last little segment to you. When they mentioned a new over-shoulder camera system, this was revealed in the leaked gameplay footage from PAX 2018 for the Walking Dead final season, in which Clementine is shown to, the whole camera angle is from Clementine's over-shoulder. If you ever played Life is Strange or Life is Strange Before a Storm, it is very similar to that. And another part to mention is unscripted combat scenes, which I'm very interested in. So apparently what this means is that they touched on this a bit at PAX 2018, but apparently what it means is that there won't be a section where, oh, you'll walk into a house and you'll always get attacked by a walker. Like, there will be walkers in the hub areas that you can fight and kill. That's what it means. It won't mean that, like, oh, this isn't turned into, like, a third-person action game where you're going around killing walkers. No, basically just means that there will be, like, active, like, threats in the hub areas, and you will have to deal with them, like, based on how you approach it. It's not going to be like, oh, if you always go somewhere, you're going to be attacked by a walker. It's going to be more like, okay, there are all these walkers in the vicinity, and you'll have to decide which ones are going to engage and which ones are not, which I think is pretty cool. I was kind of worried by the fact that Telltale, they said that they were focusing a lot more on exploration at PAX, but because I was worried about it, because really, Telltale, I mean, yes, Walking Dead Season 1 was heavily focused on action, but to me, that's kind of what made Season 1 a little bit dull, and that's why Season 2 I thought was better, because it had a more of an action feel, like more direct. It didn't drag things out like Season 1 did, that's what I'm trying to say. So, anyway, that's what I think anyway. And also the graphic black art style they mentioned, this was touched on also in the test footage that Telltale showed of Violet and 10 at PAX, in which what their plan is that essentially stuff that appears far in a distance will be rendered in sort of a 2D blackish way, as they mentioned the graphic black art style, that makes it look like it's a background in a comic book. Now, if you were like to look at a scene from like the Walking Dead comics and compare to this, it looks very similar. I think the best example of this is actually is in the test footage of Violet and 10, in which you see in the background of them the shed that Clementine explores in the leaked gameplay demo. And in that footage, the shack is all just, it looks 2D. It looks like they just took a drawing of the shack and put it there, but it's actually 3D. And someone pointed this out to me, I saw this on Twitter, that actually in that test footage, Clementine is standing there in the shack. So maybe I'll put a little circle around where she is in the test footage just to show you all. But I think that is really cool, because even Clementine there looks 2D. So I think that's probably the best way, the best art style Telltale's ever done for a Telltale game, definitely with this season. Other than that, like, Wolf Among Us is probably their most unique art style. This is definitely the best so far. So that's it for just for like going over the gameplay segments. Now we're going to go over the story of The Walking Dead, the final season. So as I mentioned, as it was mentioned in the plot description for the season, it seems as though the boarding school that Clementine will meet Violet, Ten, Marlon, and Lewis in will be the main community for this season, where it says that Clementine must build a life and become a leader while still watching over AJ. So it seems though, yes, that Clementine will eventually become the leader of this boarding school community, and sort of we're gonna create an all kids group that will survive, which I think is really, really cool to like give the we've never seen like a Hunger Games Hunger Games inspired like take on The Walking Dead. We've never seen a whole community entirely of children. Now, I know some people are gonna be pissed off by saying like, oh, what the fuck, why they turn this into the Hunger Games, Telltale's ruining Walking Dead. No, I think that's really cool, and I'm surprised honestly that this hasn't happened sooner. Because in the comics, like, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, maybe Carl got separated from Rick and maybe formed his own kid society. I mean, sure, we've seen kids in The Walking Dead a lot, but we've never seen a whole community created entirely from children, which I think is a really, really cool idea, and I can't wait to see that. Also, when in the plot summary, when Telltale stresses that AJ will learn from your every move. This to me seems a lot like the relationship that Clementine had with Lee in season 1, which kind of makes me worried because that's what Telltale said when they were at PAX. They said that yes, while it does seem very similar that with Clementine now watching for AJ as Lee watched for Clementine in season 1, Telltale said that they weren't trying to make the same story that season 1 had with season 4. So they don't want, like, it's not going to end the same way like with Clem being bitten, AJ having to kill her. But just with stuff like this, it kind of makes me worried that I can't seem to see like notice the parallels between seasons 1 and 4. And while I mean that's cool that seeing Clementine's like teaching next generation, I think that is cool. It might get kind of boring if we're basically doing the same story that Telltale told with season 1. So I'm really hoping that Telltale has some unique twist that they're going to give to Clementine and AJ's relationship that wasn't there with Lee and Clementine's relationship in season 1. And then also I might as well just bring up some like pre-order info while I'm here. So pre-orders for The Walking Dead the final season will go up tomorrow, June 8th. If you pre-order on Xbox One and PS4, you will get the Walking Dead Telltale series collection for free. That's the HD remake of all 3 seasons of The Walking Dead plus The Walking Dead Michonne that Telltale released back in December. And I think that is a really, really good deal because The Walking Dead, the final season, has confirmed to only be 4 episodes. As such, will only cost $20 instead of $25, and so you'll be able to get all 19 episodes of The Walking Dead prior to the final season just for free, which I think is incredible. As for PC players, that's kind of unfair though, but if you pre-order on PC, you'll be able to get the first season for free, which I think is kind of fair. I wish they maybe give you the first 2 seasons for free, or maybe the first season of Michonne for free, but it's over and done with. Now, anyways, I want to talk a bit about what it means for The Walking Dead final season to be only 4 episodes instead of 5 episodes. So the only outliers in Telltale games that have had more or less than 5 episodes are Minecraft Story Mode Season 1, which had 8 episodes, The Walking Dead Michonne, which had 3 episodes, but Telltale described that as a miniseries, and Game of Thrones Season 1, which had 6 episodes. The Walking Dead Season 1 could also be kind of 6 episodes if you count 400 days, but I'm going to say that the main story of that game was 5 episodes. So what does this mean for The Walking Dead the final season that it will have 4 episodes instead of 5? Well, to me, I feel like this means that a lot of people are worrying that Clementine's story will be a lot shorter than Season 1, but also, I think that means that actually we could be seeing longer episodes, more lengthier episodes than we did in Season 2 and New Frontier. In New Frontier, episodes usually range from about 90 minutes to about an hour long each, just like a TV episode, but with 4 episodes, maybe Telltale's trying to put more into their episodes, so maybe we'll be getting 2-hour episodes with each one, which if that's the case, I have no problem with Telltale making 4 episodes for this season. If I can just get more out of each episode, that's great. Usually when I play Telltale games, they usually take about an hour and a half to around sometimes 2 hours, but most of the time it's either between an hour and a half to like an hour and 15 minutes. So I'm really looking forward to this 4-episode plan, see if they actually plan to make each episode around 2 hours long. If they do that, I'm totally fine with that. So that's it for analyzing the press release for the final season. Now we're going to go over into the E3 trailer that was released yesterday. So for all of you who have not yet seen it, I'm going to play it one more time for you all, and then we'll dissect it piece by piece.
Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. AJ, come on. Row, 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 row your boat gently down the stream. If you see a crocodile, don't forget to scream.
Don't forget to scream.
Come on, you love this one.
It's a bad song. You shouldn't scream. Ever. Screaming brings monsters.
Yeah, you're right, kiddo. This song was written before, when kids didn't have to worry about monsters.
I don't remember a time without monsters.
I know. What's the first rule?
Never go alone.
Never go alone, right. And what do we do when the monsters come?
We shoot them in the head.
And what else?
Always save the last bullet for yourself.
Now, what do you do if I get bit?
Okay, so the trailer starts off with this really pretty shot demonstrating the graphic black art style of The Walking Dead final season. We see this leaf fall down from the trees and land in this river, which I gotta say, the river looks incredible. The water details look even better than New Frontier. As we're doing this, we hear Clementine singing to AJ, like, row, row, row your boats, and eventually she gets AJ to join in on it too. This is like a great way to demonstrate the tech for Walking Dead the final season. After we follow the leaf down the stream to see AJ sitting on the edge of this bridge with Clementine on the opposite end hunting. She has this big stick, like homemade spear that she made, where she's jamming it into the river. You can see behind AJ, she's jamming it into the river and she catches a fish with it, as we see AJ and Clementine still singing. It's another thing I gotta point out here is I just absolutely love how the water reflects off the how like the light of the water reflects onto AJ and the the bridge surrounding him. You can actually see like just how a lake would, like river probably would in the sunlight there. I really enjoy that. Now after that, we get our first close-up look at Clementine looking just the way she did in the Elite gameplay footage for the final season, with her face is all mucky and stuff. But interestingly enough, she is not wearing her New Frontier outfit that she wore in the Elite gameplay and in the key art for The Walking Dead the final season. Instead, we see her wearing this new black, very rickish jacket. She actually has her hat this time. We'll get more into that later. But if you look closely on Clementine's new jacket, you can see a little patch on her left arm right there. It says Silver Stallion with this cool like winged skull. I'm not sure if that's like a deer skull or something like that. Anyway, she catches the fish, and then like she's trying to talk to AJ, like cheer up, because obviously AJ is sad when they're singing, because Clement says she likes the song, but AJ says, oh well, it's a bad song because you shouldn't scream, and like because then monsters will come, and because he doesn't understand that of what the world used to be like before he was born, which I think is really cool idea to see how the Walking Dead, like see a child born during the zombie apocalypse. I mean, like we've had like a child born in the TV show. We have Judith, who but is still a baby during that. We've never seen like a child born during the zombie apocalypse and then like reach an age where he's like capable of thoughts like that, like AJ, which I think, once again, I'm surprised it took nearly 15 years of the whole Walking Dead universe to make this happen. So anyway, after Clementine catches the fish, she sees that AJ is looking distressed and goes to sit down next to him. And here we actually get a better look at the state of Clementine's hat. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. It is pretty fucked up. Literally, if you thought her hat in season 3 was bad, it is even worse now. Like, it's all dirty. Literally, all the blue out of the hat is gone. It's just, all the blue is just a very, very dirty black. There's even more holes in it. Surprisingly, Lee's blood is still on it, but there's even more holes on it. Even the D on her hat is starting to fall off. You can actually see, just like how in the test footage of Violet and 10 with like Violet's vest blowing in the wind, you can actually see right here Clementine's jacket is blowing a little bit, and even where the D on her hat is peeling off, you can see that part is like flying around in the wind as well. And then during this we get a really cool shot of when Clementine's explaining to AJ that, oh, yeah, before you were born, little kids didn't have to worry about monsters. We see the shot of AJ as he's seen on the edge of the bridge looking down at a dead walker in the stream, which I think is really cool to see how the water reacts to the walker, how it sort of moves around it. That's not like as if they just took like a water texture and just made the walker pop up to it like they would in like the Walking Dead Michonne, let's say. It seems like the water is actually reacting to the walker's head as it's changing its course of direction to accommodate it, which I think is really, really cool. After this, Clementine sits down next to AJ on the side of the river, and we get this cool, like, Zombieland-esque, like, rule survival guide thing that Clementine set up for AJ when she's, like, testing him. And she says, like, oh, like, what's the first rule of, like, zombie survival? And he says, oh, like, to never go alone. I feel like this will be heavily in, while Telltale has confirmed that this scene will not appear in the final game, I think it would be nice if something, like, similar to this happens in the game, in which, like, Clementine, maybe, like, tests AJ, and then, like, his answers are determined on whatever Lee did to Clem in Season 1, and then whatever Clem did for herself in Season 2. Maybe even something Javi did for him in her in New Frontier. I think that would be really cool. And then, Clementine asks him, like, what to do if the monsters come, at which point AJ pulls out this giant, I think it's like an 8-round revolver. I didn't know those things even existed. I'm surprised, like, this kind of makes me want to wonder how old AJ is, because I highly doubt she would give like a 5-year-old a big revolver like this. Now, Clementine was like 9 when she started shooting, so because if we're thinking about this, let's say this takes place at the same time as the current comics. That's the New Beginning arc. So that would be 2 years after the events of New Frontier, I think. Would it be 2 years? Because if it was 2 years during events of All Out War, another 2 years, then it was 4 years, a 4-year time jump. So yes, so New Frontier took place during the 4-year time jump. It was 2 years into that time jump. So now this would be at the end of those 2 years. So that would make Clementine 15 and AJ 4. I don't think AJ's definitely does not look 4 in this. To me, he looks around to be 6 or 7. So that would make that would say to be another. That would actually be 4 years later. So this would actually be further than the comics at this point. So Rick and everyone could be dead at this point, and Clementine could just be the sole survivor. Which kind of makes me wonder how, if Clementine decides to appear in the comics at some point, how they're going to handle that. But that'll be for another video if I ever decide to do that. I should stop rambling on about that. But yeah, I'd like to say that this takes place roughly about 4 to 5 years after the events of New Frontier. So that would make Clementine around 18 to 17, and then AJ around 6 to 7. That's what it seems like to me. So after inspecting his gun, AJ turns to Clem. He says that we have to shoot the monsters in the head, just like Lee taught her in Season 1. And then she makes AJ say something pretty dark, like, oh, like, what else do you do? And then AJ says to save the last bullet for yourself, which is pretty dark for Clementine to be saying this to, like, a kid. And then after that, we get this nice, quiet little moment between Clem and AJ as they both sit on the edge of the bridge. And once again, I really gotta say how awesome the water looks, like reflecting off the bridge and the characters. And then we end the teaser with this really, really mysterious and foreshadowing, hopefully not foreshadowing, but it seems like it's a foreshadowing remark in which Clementine asks AJ what he'll do if Clementine gets bit. And then she just gives AJ this really, really cold stare, and then it just ends right there. Now this seems to imply that, oh, Clementine's gonna get bit at the end of the game and then AJ will have to kill her, but I don't know, because once again, that would be too much like Season 1, and Telltale has stressed that they don't want to repeat Season 1 story with the final season. So I guess maybe, I think it would be cool though if this choice does appear in the game. Not that Clementine actually does get bit, but if Clementine asks AJ this, AJ's response will be depending on whether or not Lee had her kill him at the end of season 1. I think that'd be cool. So like if Lee did have Clementine kill him, then AJ would say, oh, I'll shoot you. Or if he didn't have her shoot him, then he would be like, oh, I'll leave you be. Or maybe like give her the gun to kill herself. Maybe that would be a better thing to do. I don't know. So yeah, that's the entire teaser. Like I said, the game will be episode 1 of The Walking Dead final season will be released on August 14th with the Switch version coming later this year. So that's it for the trailer. Now we're finally gonna end this analysis with going over 3 screenshots that Telltale released for the final season. Alright, let's start with the first screenshot. So the first screenshot, Telltale has titled as a file name Walking Dead 4, obviously for the final season, Clem Knife Zombie Shack. So for this screenshot, we have Clementine battling this walker. Looks very similar to the one that she kills in the back in the E3 2016 teaser trailer for New Frontier, actually, minus the New Frontier mark on his shoulder. We see Clementine here grappling with the walker and Graham Reyes stab him in the head with her knife. Now, there's obviously not much we can tell from this screenshot. It looks a lot like the forest area where Clementine was talking to AJ in the teaser trailer. But interesting to note here, I just want to talk about where Clementine could have possibly gotten this new Steel Stallion jacket that she has in all these screenshots and the teaser. I actually forgot to point this out in the trailer, but I'll just mention it right now. If I'll show maybe a picture of the still from the teaser, but in it, on the Clementine's opposite arm, you see the initials SSMC, which I assume stands for Steel Stallion Military Company. So obviously, it seems as though at some point during the game, or maybe even prior to it, maybe I'm just overanalyzing this. Clementine and AJ will go to a military compound called Steel Stallion, I guess, and she finds this jacket. I don't know, but that's just where I think she gets this jacket. Anyway, so maybe if that's the case, then in the gameplay teaser that was shown at PAX of Clementine in her New Frontier outfit, maybe that's actually a flashback. Maybe in that scenario, she's getting AJ, and now when she has this Steel Stallion jacket, that's the present-day timeline for the final season. So she'll start the game with her New Frontier outfit that now will be maybe all the flashback segments in the beginning of episode 1, which explains how she got AJ, and then when it jumps forward into the future, she'll have this Steel Stallion jacket. That's what I think. Anyways, the only thing that comes out of mind here is the file name for it, which is Clem Knife Zombie Shack. Now, I assume the shack might be referring to the shack that Clem visits in the gameplay teaser. Maybe not, because unbeknownst to me, that wasn't the train station. It was actually just a shack that was never seen before. So could this potentially be that same shack? The forest looks very similar to it, but that's about it for this screenshot. All I can tell from it, at least. The next screenshot is simply called Clem Basement. Now, to me, this feels like this is at the boarding school at this point. We see Clementine once again in her Steel Stallion outfit, holding what looks like a candle as she explores this basement filled with all kinds of like old generators or like boilers and stuff like that. I assume this might be when she first encounters the boarding school and maybe just decides to go investigate, I suppose. But it looks to me like maybe there will be some kind of dark secret here. Maybe I still think Lewis is a bad guy and that he is keeping something down here. Maybe Clementine decides to go down here and find out what Lewis is hiding, or maybe even like Marlon or Violet or even Ten. Maybe I'm not sure. But anyway, really that's all we can see from this screenshot, other than the fact that it shows how far Telltale has come with their lighting. As I really like how the candle light reflects off of all the walls in Clementine and illuminates the room. I really like that. And now we have our final screenshot for The Walking Dead Final Season Episode 1, which has Clementine and AJ hiding from all these walkers at nighttime. Now, the file name for this screenshot is WD4 Clem AJ Train Station. So this is, in fact, the train station that we saw in the concept art for The Walking Dead The Final Season back at the PAX 2018 panel. Now, I gotta say that this looks really cool because this is our first look at The Walking Dead Season 4 at nighttime, and I just love the way like the moonlight like reflects off Clem's face. I think that's really cool. So what does this mean? Perhaps I think this is probably most likely when Clementine and AJ first encounter the boarding school. Maybe they're out at this train station, they're hiding from these walkers. Clementine's trying to reassure AJ, and then as they make their way towards the boarding school. That's really all I can think of for this. I think this will happen probably early on, maybe at the very most halfway through episode 1. That's as far as I think. But once again, even in this screenshot, Clem is wearing the Steel Stallion jacket instead of her new Frontier jacket. So I'm assuming, once again, this further makes me feel that Clementine will be wearing her new Frontier outfit only for flashbacks, while her main outfit for the season will be this new Steel Stallion jacket, which I really, really think is cooler than her other one. Another thing that's interesting, though, is I should have pointed this out in my teaser analysis, but Clementine has her hat in all these screenshots and teasers, but back in the initial teaser that was shown, the gameplay reveal that was shown at PAX, Clementine didn't have her hat. So is it possible that Clem could have lost her hat earlier on, or maybe they just decided to not have Clem have her hat for some reason? I don't know. But anyway, that's pretty much all we can tell from this screenshot, other than the fact that it looks amazing. And so that was my analysis of The Walking Dead Season 4, the final season. Its press release, the launch trailer, and the 3 screenshots that were released. As said before, The Walking Dead Season 4, the final season, will premiere on August 14th for Xbox One, PS4, and PC, with a Switch version coming later this year. Are you guys excited for the final season of The Walking Dead? If you are, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys later.